it's Miss Cooper here, and I thought I would come today with one of my favourite topics for maths, which is fractions. So this is going to be a bit of a basic recap to make sure that you've got all the knowledge you need to tackle the harder problems, but this is going to be a basic revision. So I'm going to go through it section at a time. But first, in the middle here, we have a definition with some very important words. So a fraction, which is what we're looking at, is a part of a whole. So a whole is if we had a whole chocolate bar, and then a fraction would be, say, taking 3 chunks of that whole chocolate bar. Now, if we look at my little sketch of a fraction, my class 5C should be very good at this. We have our numerator at the top, which is the number of shaded parts that we have. We have the vinculum, which is the line in the middle, tricky word, vinculum. And our denominator, which is the total number of parts in each whole. Very important to remember it's the total number of parts in each whole, especially when we get on to improper and mixed fractions later. Now, if we go to here, I have drawn 1, 2, 3 different bar models representing our fractions. If we look at this top one, I have a bar and it is split into 2 parts. So my denominator is going to be that 2. And then how many parts of my 2 parts are shaded in? That's right, it is 1 part of the 2 that is shaded in. So that would be 1/2. 1/2 because 2 parts are in the whole and 1 of them is shaded in. Now if we go down here to my next one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts in my whole bar. So I have 4 parts, 4 equal parts that my whole bar is split into. So 1, 2, 3, 4 equal chunks. And how many parts are shaded in? 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 quarters, or 3/4, because there are 4 whole parts and 3 of them are shaded in, so it's 3/4. This one I've left as a bit of a question for you to work out, so I'm going to talk it through. I won't give you the answer, but see if you can write it down and work it out with an adult at home. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts in my whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts in my whole, which will give you the denominator, the bottom bit of your fraction. How many parts do I have shaded in? And that will give you your numerator, your top part of your fraction. See if you can work that one out. Moving along. Here, this isn't a bar, and sometimes this can be a bit confusing, but it is still a whole, except this time, instead of your whole being a bar, your whole is a whole circle. So again, this circle is split into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts, and I have 1 part shaded in, which means it is 1/4 or 1/4, because 1 part is shaded in and there are 4 parts in total. This one, again, is going to be split in our equal parts. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 equal parts, that gives me my denominator, because I have 8 parts in my whole. How many are shaded in? And that will give you your numerator. Have a go at this one at home. Now, last bit we are going to cover is adding fractions with the same denominator. We'll move on to different denominators next time, but just the same denominator for this one. So, interesting mistake that I'm going to cover in a minute is lots of people think I'm adding the numerators and I add the denominators and that will give me my answer. That is wrong. When we are adding fractions where the denominator, so the bottom number, is the same, that number stays the same in your answer as well. So we're not going to change. It is still in eighths. Our whole is still split into 8 equal pieces. We are just adding more shaded in bits. So I have 1/8, add 3/8. I've already said my denominator is going to stay the same. So I do 1 as 3, which is 4. So that will equal 4/8. Down to this next one. I've said my denominators, they stay the same. So it's always going to be in fifths. So I have 2/5, add 2/5, which will give me 4/5. Now finish off. Can you explain Miss Cooper's mistake? Can you explain my mistake to me? I'm not going to give you any clues, but think about what we've just done, those 2 examples above. 3/6 add 2/6 equals 5/12. I am wrong. I want to see if you can explain why I am wrong. So that is our quick fractions recap, just the basics. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you're all staying safe at home. Bye, Whitehall.